Maybe some next signals that you can have coming from your organization. Signals like, we have to focus on a really important project that's currently running. Or I will plan things after yada yada and something else. Or just shipping it's more efficient. Just go right away with this feature.
Looking like a baddie, I show up and make them stop. Wanna know my name so badly, cause I run this whole block. Flip my hair, move my head, show the world I'm royalty. When I walk by, they be taking bows, cause they know I'm the queen, yeah.
Welcome, Experimentation followers. Welcome to my presentation, Experiment Myths you have to bust in order to grow your experimentation program. But first, let me introduce myself first. My name is Lucas Vos, I'm a Senior Conversion Specialist at RTL Netherlands. My mission is to grow an experimentation culture within this beautiful company. Before that, I worked at another large media company, NSC Media, from the newspapers here in the Netherlands, for brands like Philips and TomTom as a consultant. You might see me sometimes as a public speaker for conferences around Europe. And when I'm not presenting or busy with experimentation stuff, I intend to enjoy my family, do some running, and enjoy some Belgian beers. And about RTL Netherlands, if you don't know it, if you're not from the Netherlands, we are known to be a very big broadcaster. We have big channels like RTL 4, 5, 7, 8 and RTL Z. We have a big streaming platform, number 2 in the Netherlands, Videoland. We have a weather platform, Buienradar, and a news platform, RTL News, which is also very big here in the Netherlands. But let's get started with the content where you were interested in. Let's get started with your experimentation program. When you would like to start, how would you like to start? What would be the ideal situation to do so? Well, you might start with some Googling and get results like this. Great ways to improve your conversion rate. And then you see lots of tips you might be implementing. And then you test it and you see that you have big conversion uplifts. That's great, right? And then with those uplifts, you get great management support all the time that you want it. And then after that, you get lots of budget and unlimited resources to spend, for example, to get the people that you want, like developers, like designers, name it, and so on and so on. Wow, that sounds like a great success, isn't it? And it sounds very easy. Wow, why do we even have this talk then? Maybe because it looks a bit easy. Maybe it's harder than you think. Maybe your plan is to go directly to that success I described, but the reality is more stubborn, it's harder. Because you might be in a situation that you recognize in that you have a very heavy burden, a very big task to do, maybe a bit on your own. You might feel that you sometimes have invisible barriers that you need to overcome, but you don't see them. You might feel that you end up in impossible situations that you really think, how on earth did I get there? And sometimes you might feel also a bit lonely in that kind of situation, that you are the only one that you care about certain stuff in your organization. In that case, you might have some problems with some myths around in your organization. Myths that block your experimentation program from further growth. So, you might need to bust these myths. How to do that? And that's maybe very important also for you, because you want to grow, right? Well, your organization might be sending you already some signals that you need to really take care of and listen to. I will start with some first signals you might have already in your organization. Those first signals. Experimentation sounds that you don't know what you're doing. Maybe another one, that sounds that you're hacking the code. Yeah, and in case of an incident, first disable all the experiments that are out there and then look for the real problem. In that case, you might be in the danger zone. That people feel that you, with your experiments, are putting the organization, and especially the tech staff, in danger. Then you might be having the myth in your organization that experimentation is dangerous. How to bust this myth? well, then you might need to play the safety card. That you might need to rename it from experimentation to validation, because that word even sounds a bit more safe already. And then you need to find the source of the danger perception. The danger really comes from somewhere. Maybe you have done something in the past to break some stuff. You might have caused even an incident, guilty as charged, by the way. And then you need to take care of that kind of history in order to solve it. So what can you mitigate? You can do something like a 4 eyes principle on the code of every experiment that you have. You might be able to do some service-side testing, so people, especially the developers of your organization, can feel safe because that code from the experiment follows the same principles, the same software checks that our normal developments even have. So then you put also safety first. And then your experimentation program might be safe. Sounds cool, isn't it? But there are more signals. Signals like, why do we need to test this? This is not worth testing. And a signal like, anyone would expect that to happen, right? And something, zebra alert, I have enough experience to know that it works. With those signals, you might be in the obvious situation, that people think that you're only about the obvious. Experimentation is testing the obvious. People might think that. And how can you bust this myth of that it is not only about the obvious? Well, there are a few things. First of all, you might be doing only a winner's presentation. And if you show experiments that you've done, that you only focus on the winners, on the improvements that you have found. Maybe that leads to a bit of a confirmation bias, that people think, yeah, I know already that it has one, and it's obvious, right? You might need to show some unexpected results, like experiments that even surprised you with the results that they gave. It's really something unexpected that people didn't think of, because that might open some eyes. Even further, you can play a guess the test game, a game where you try to bring your audience thinking about, hey, what might be the results of this experiment and a few experiments in a row, and then you ask them, hey, can you say which one was the winner? And if you do a few in a row, then at the end, I think a very, very, very few will be able to guess all the experiments right. And then you can say, hey, it's not only about the obvious, right? And last but not least in this case, if you do maybe also only a winner's focus, that you only show the winner experiments, think of the power of loss prevented versus experiments that you might have called as failing. That experiments that have shown to have another effect, maybe the other way around, that you can have saved the organization something, that you have prevented some loss from preventing it anyway before testing it. So that you save your organization from a bad decision. Then your boss or your stakeholders will be like this, that you are good. You have shown and you have opened their eyes. Maybe some next signals that you can have coming from your organization. Signals like, we have to focus on the really important project that's currently running. Or I will plan things after yada yada and something else, yada yada and something else. Or just shipping it is more efficient and just go right away with this feature. When you have signals like this, then you might be in this situation. You might be this guy, having the wheels, offering something more efficient to people that feel too busy to listen to you. Then you might be having the myth around in your organization that experimentation is too much work. That you are that guy, but they feel you're adding only work to their plate. So what do you need to do to bust this myth?
This is Romo Santiago from Experimentation. Every week we share interviews with and conference sessions by our favorite conversion rate optimizers from around the world. So if you like this video, smash that like button and consider subscribing. It helps us a bunch. Now back to the episode.
Like I said, they might feel that you only add work to their plate, so that's not beneficial for them, or not. They don't feel that way. Maybe you need to be more part of their big projects, that it's beneficial for them, that experiments are beneficial as part of the big projects, that you can add value for decision making with experiments. Like I said before, you have maybe the opportunity to validate some variants maybe that people think of in the big projects, that you might be able to have some better decisions there, and that you have a better outcome of the big project. And because of that, you might be able to think of prototype testing. Prototype testing is maybe not really A/B testing, but it can help you accelerate and can help build the perspective that you can add value and can help them accelerate in their big projects. If you do that, you might be having this again, the top management supporting you because you have helped the big project move along and make the big project even better. That's nice, isn't it? Some last signals that I want to share with you. Some last signals that might be very important for you to listen to in case you hear them coming from your organization. The signals like developing A/B tests will double our development cost. And signals like we don't have the budget for it. We don't have the budget to do experimentation. And we have only budget, or we only use free CRO tools. In that case, people think maybe that you are the one burning money for the organization and only driving costs. You might be in the situation that people think that experimentation is too expensive for them because they only see it as a cost center. And then maybe you have to shift it around because your organization might be penny-wise, pound-foolish. But how to make them pound-wise? So you can help them focus on what are the costs of assuming you're right away, that they are right just shipping it and not validating the outcome of what they do, validating the solutions they want to implement. And then you can, if you have that, you can also show them the business case. Show them business case of the winners that you have found, but maybe more important, the losses that you have prevented. That you have prevented your organization from implementing something which eventually could cost them money. And that kind of uplifts or drops, you can calculate them with money, like the uplift of a conversion rate, or maybe some other metrics that can come with money. Add that up and you have the business case. In short, you have to show them the ROI. If you do that right, then you might be ending up here, in the pool of money with unlimited resources to move along. And if you have also cleared the other myths, then you might have a clear road ahead. A clear road ahead for your experimentation program. And if you have that, you can progress even further. And then, are you there then? No. The key to your success still remains hard work. Hard work to reduce or remove those myths out of your organization. But those myths can be pretty persistent. So you have to keep doing the hard work and keep focusing and keep listening to those signals I previously mentioned. And if you do that, I think, and I believe as well, that you can be very successful with your experimentation program. This was the end of my talk. If you have any questions or any comments about what I've said, please feel free to reach out to me through LinkedIn, through email, through Twitter, or whatsoever. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you and have a nice day.
This is Romo Santiago from Experiment Nation. Every week we share interviews with and conference sessions by our favorite conversion rate optimizers from around the world. So if you like this video, smash that like button and consider subscribing.